On today's hot sheet, I'm discussing the smallest buying versus selling cost gap in 3 years. New construction price cuts outpacing existing home sales today. Is that true? And the weekly unemployment report is out. Today is Thursday, February 13, 2026. I am Byron Lazine. Hot sheet starts now. Live from Naples, Florida. It's a pleasure to be with you wherever you may be today, however you may be listening. If you're driving, only listen, no watching, just the listen. I see a bunch of tuning in from all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. It is a pleasure that you've taken some time out of your day here on the live session. Those of you listening later on the replay, appreciate you as well. Okay, we have some interesting numbers, which is, really showing some changes in the market. This market is starting to, this housing market is starting to shift after, 3+ years of a real estate recession. The real estate recession is real. It's not overstated. It's existed, and Jerome Powell has no tears over it. Okay. In fact, he likes it. By the way, we mentioned yesterday, and the betting odds are still, there will be absolutely no mercy come March after that job data yesterday. We got more job data today, though. So even getting a little bit hairy for June. Okay. A lot of time between now and June. No mercy, Jerome Powell says for rates likely to happen next meeting. So, okay. What are some of the changes that we're seeing in the real estate market right now? What is this signal for the future? What's going to be important for you to have as information to be able to ease the mindsets? There's a lot of confusion from not only buyers, but our sellers. And, what should I be waiting for? Should I be waiting? Is now the opportunity that I've been waiting for? All these questions are swirling around. The headlines are very confusing. And there's a lot of doom that is presented to our customers, our clients, our communities day after day. And the amount of headlines that people are consuming today, it's ridiculous. And as they see and scroll past certain housing headlines, none of them seem positive. That creates more uncertainty. Okay. One of those is this Redfin report. Okay. And this is a reality of the market. Right now, home buyers need to earn $35,000 more than renters to afford these monthly payments. Okay. So we've known that this number has existed over the last 3 years in the real estate recession. Most cities, most major metros, this can be kind of different in certain places like the Midwest where there is affordable homes. But on the whole, and we're talking about major metros, most home buyers need to earn way more than a renter. It's been just way more affordable to rent yet, and this is where there is a shift slowly but surely happening. This is the smallest gap in 3 years. So through the real estate recession of the last 3+ years, the gap between what you needed to earn to buy and what you needed to earn to rent was bigger. Okay. Now, what's happened with rents? Does that mean rents have gotten more expensive? No, rents have continued to come down and become even more affordable. The most affordable option in most metros is renting. If you're looking for shelter over the next year, 2 years, good news, you don't have to buy. Good news, you should rent. And good news, you have very affordable options. And good news, you have more negotiating power. So if you need to rent, if you need shelter next 12, 24, 36 months, you don't have to worry about what home costs are today. Okay. If you're looking for making a place home, when people think home, they think the next decade plus that's the track record of how long people stay in these homes, then you start considering buying. What is that going to look like over a decade? Real estate hasn't gone down in any decade, including the one with the great financial crisis. It doesn't go down in a decade time frame. So it's about affordability around the payment now, because in 10 years, that's going to be a higher number. Now, we'll probably have printed a whole bunch more money and make that number worthless, but that's going to be the reality. Okay, home buyers need to earn $111,000 annually. So whether that's a single home buyer or dual income, to afford the median price home, renters are at $76,000. The median household income is at $86,000. Okay, so good news if you're renting. Hey, the median household income is above that of which you need to make for the median rent. And this gap seems large, but the rent versus buy gap is the smallest it's been in 3 years. As buying is getting more affordable, home buyers, okay, here's the trend line. Home buyers, what they must earn, and this gap is shrinking, okay? And look at some of the gaps here as recently as June 2025. We were up at 122,000 for home buyers. We were in that range back in May, June of 2024. And even, late summer, early fall in 2023. Now you're going to see that same kind of trend. Like, this number is going to pop, I believe, as you get into the heart of the spring and summer season. When's the cheapest time to buy? Well, it was the last 90 days. On any 12-month cycle, it's the last 90 days. When those last 90 days are November, December, and January. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, well, I mean, hey, you might have another 30 days of leverage, maximum leverage from a buyer standpoint. But you get into the spring selling season, those prices always go up on national numbers. Go up versus what the winter looked like. Okay, it's why if I'm a seller, I want to be riding the momentum up, not when all the inventory is out there in the summer. I want to be riding it. Okay, selling season is coming. These next 90 days, the front half of what would be considered a selling season. Home affordability is improving, and it's getting a little bit harder, according to Redfin, to afford a rental. I mean, not based on every other number. It's getting easier to afford a rental. But this is Redfin. This is what they do. Income needed to afford typical home for sale. On that light blue line, year-over-year change is -4%. Income needed to afford a typical rent, year-over-year change 2.1. Rents have come down 28, 30 straight months in a row, according to almost every single data point. But they're claiming rent affordability is moving in the opposite direction. Here's 5 metros. In Austin, renters must earn $62,000, so that's below the national median. Costs $1,500, almost $1,600. That's down 2.8%. Denver renters need $74,000 to get to an $1,856 typical rent. That's down 1.3%. San Antonio down 0.8%. Tampa's down 0.8%. Phoenix is down 0.5%. All posted declines. And so, that's typically kind of what you see. There's obviously some markets that are going to be outside of the norm, a San Jose and San Francisco and these very expensive markets that are going to skew some rental numbers. But on the whole, you can find a rental option right now that's far less than buying. And so it's really just, a timeline thing. Hey, are you solving a problem for the next 12, 24, 36 months? I remember when homes were, at a bargain. Everybody knew they were at a bargain. 2011, 2012, the double bottoming. It's like, man, people are giving homes away. And I talked to a buyer, military buyer's like, I'm only going to be here 3 years and I want to buy. It's like, dude, the fees, what are you doing? Don't buy. I'm still buying. Okay. I told you not to. It's your money. I can't stop you. At this point, I'll help you and put you in the right position. But anybody that says 36 months, it's like, man, I just don't see the risk in buying for 36 months. But people don't want to talk. Some people don't want to talk to a landlord, and vice versa. There's going to always be a group of people that prefer a landlord, prefer a property manager. Hey, problem, I call somebody else. They deal with it. We're not looking for 100% home ownership. It's ludicrous to suggest that we should be. People live very different styles. Okay. Realtor.com did an analysis between new construction and existing homes. Okay. What's the competition for new? It's existing homes. What's the competition for existing? Well, if they got new construction in the market, it's each other and it's that new construction. All right. So what's going on right now in terms of listing price between builders and existing homes? All right. The median list price for new construction sits over $450,000. And the median sale price for existing homes is now just under $400,000. Okay, so existing home sales moving down, new construction kind of holding strong here, moving sideways. They've been just over $450,000 on ask list price, that invitational price. And builders know, hey, list price more than most in this industry. Builders understand, hey, the list price is not the sale price. Existing home sellers, this is the thing we need to help them have clarity on. List price is not your net worth. It's not your home value. It's not where you're going to end up at the closing. List price is positioning. List price is your invitation to the market. It's part of our marketing plan, your list price, so that we can collect conversations and offers and that you can make an educated decision on if those offers get you to your net goal. But price is just invitational marketing. If I'm throwing a party this summer and my invitation says, hey, it's potluck, bring your own, everybody's going to be required to bring food. I'm going to have, some kind of open bar, but I'm going to charge everybody $50 for the open bar. And it's going to have just like generic stuff like Smirnoff. No offense to Smirnoff, but, it's just going to have those generic kind of well labels. Or if I send out an invitation saying, hey, bring nothing. I got a raw bar going on, all top of the shelf, Fortaleza tequila, no money. Which invitation is going to be like RSP'd over and over and over to? It's the experience where it's like, whoa, they're taking care of everything. Versus the one where I don't even want, by the way, I don't even want to be invited to a picnic. Now I got to bring something and I got to pay $50. Which invitation is more attractive? Price is just an invitation for an attractive. Now, when I have the party, hey, we can do different things, right? When you get people into the home, you can negotiate any way you want. You can negotiate price up, down, whatever. But if I've got more people in the negotiation than from that invitational price, then boom or bam, I can have more leverage. What do you know? All right. So invitational price, median list price, builders get this. Hey, we're sticking at 450, but we're going to incentivize the crap out of it. We're going to offer things like lower rates. We're going to offer different perks. We're going to offer different benefits. You're going to get more for your money, but we're not going to change comps. But you're going to get more on the back end for your money. Okay, we're going to throw in some of the furniture that's there. We're going to throw in an additional upgrade. We're going to give you the higher end appliance pack. We're going to give you the lower rate. We're going to work in closing costs, but we're keeping the price of the neighborhood kind of where it's been at. This is Ivy Zellman said this recently. She's like, existing home sellers got to start thinking more creatively so they're not on this seesaw. Oh, it's winter. I better just drop the price. Agents can really help. Hey, how can we incentivize a stronger offer, a better deal? Because for the first time now in recent history, check this out. For the first time in recent history, Realtor.com says existing home sales are dropping. They have a drop in price that is actually under new construction. It's actually flipped, right? New construction, as they work in these benefits, they're also working price. It's almost 1 out of 5 new construction are reducing price, where it's 18% on existing on the price reduced share. Now, Alto says on the totality, about a third of homes are going to reduce. We're at 32%. When you break these two apart, 1 out of 5 is essentially the number. Okay. 19.3% on new builds, 18%. First time that's flipped. So existing home sellers are saying, hey, we're getting smarter. Listing agents, we're getting smarter. We're not just driving price down. All right. And time on the market is one of those leverage points that existing home sellers have to their favor. Time on the market, 65 days versus 80 plus for new construction. All right. Now, time on the market can, the goal here for a listing agent, if I'm in a market where it's 65 days on market, then I shouldn't be saying to my seller, hey, in 60 days, we'll check in on price. I should have a strategy that lives outside of that. We just talked about this in the BAMX role play. And, if you want to have these conversations in real time and work through the objections with me in real time, go to school.com/BAMX. We do this every single Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. You get access to the role play and the scripts. But we just work through the, fortunately, Sharon Srivatsa, gift to the industry. He's a BAM board member. He's like, dude, put the 10-10-0 scripting in BAMX and work through it in real time. And the 10-10-0 is simply, hey, 10 days, no showings, 10 showings, no offers. That's the moment. So not 10 days is the moment that you have a price adjustment, but one of those two variables. Okay, those are the kind of things that we're working on in real time, real objections, real conversations inside of those masterminds every single week. School.com/BAMX. But if I'm in a market with 65 days on market, well, what's my strategy? I mean, I know that my competition is saying, hey, in 60 days, we'll check. 45 days, we'll check out. Usually 30 days, they check on price. Really? You just kind of set a reminder on the count. Really? You're interviewing somebody who doesn't have a process any deeper than setting a task reminder on the calendar? You could just do that. Why don't you just do that yourself? Save the compensation. Here's the process that we use. Here's the rule that we use so that the data dictates when we have the conversation. Now, I don't know if that's going to be 17 days in, meaning on the 17th day, we've had 10 home tours, but we don't have an offer, or if it's 10 days in because we haven't had any home tours. It could be 10 days in, could be 17 days, could be 31 days. But we're going to have the conversation exactly when the data suggests that we should have the conversation so that I'm putting you in the position to not have a stale listing, to shorten this time frame on the market. Because if you can beat this, if you can beat the 65 days on existing or the 80 days on new construction, you're going to maximize the net dollars that you walk away with on your sale. And so this is what we're looking to beat, and we have a process in order to make those decisions in a timely manner. Median square footage right now of new builds is over 2,050, thereabouts. And median square foot on existing is closer to 1,750. So you have a difference there. New construction, they're building a bigger home than the existing home offers today. Median price per square foot. This is pretty interesting. Pretty close. Okay, pretty close. Median price per square foot. You got about $216 on existing and about $218 on new. I mean, existing was higher than new at certain points over this real estate recession. Usually it's flipped the other way. Very interesting. One of the things I always go back to on, hey, why is median price per square foot on existing catching up so much, and now even in some cases of the last few years past the price of new construction? Well, people want to live in certain areas, and that land's been built on. Okay, the existing homes are built in the locations in a lot of places that people want to live in. And so the new construction starts to get further and further out. Okay, that's just the reality. And this is one of the problems with affordability. People are like, there's no affordable homes in America. Move to Indiana. There's affordable. Oh, I don't want to move to Indiana. Okay. Well, there's affordable homes there. I mean, you're talking about wanting an affordable home on Madison Ave in New York City. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. I don't want to go to the airport and stand in TSA, but I don't have a private jet, so I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to need to go with the more affordable option. I don't like airports, and I don't like people I don't know sitting next to me. Well, if I want to get to the location I'm going to, this is what I can afford. I want affordable housing exactly where I want it. Sorry. Somebody got there first decades ago. Those homes were built. So is it about affording something that you can call home that you're going to hang on to for the next 10 years? You're going to have stability in knowing what at least the principal and interest is, and you can make all the decisions personalized to you, and you can make that your home? Or is it about just complaining that you don't get what you want when you want it, exactly where you want it? Well, you gotta have some give and take. Okay, life is all about give and take. Can you have everything? Yeah, eventually you're gonna have to work up to it. New construction premium and new construction share of listings. Here's the new construction premium. It's at 14%. So that's down from 20% a couple of years ago. And then the new construction share of listings right now is at 18%. Almost 1 out of 5 homes are new construction. The premium gap has gotten smaller, while the share of listings has also gotten smaller, but still a substantial share of listings. Okay, here's the state level new construction snapshot. Okay, the premium on new construction in places like Michigan, Ohio, Kansas, where there's still, certainly Ohio, and there's still affordable options. The premium is really high. or places where there's no inventory. Connecticut's on that list. There's an 80% premium on new construction. But look at the share of new construction listings. It's 10%. There are no new construction listings. There's no listings, period, in that market. Okay, where the premiums are the highest, the shares of listings are the lowest. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. Okay, where the share of listings increase, Texas, Utah, South Carolina, Idaho. I got to imagine that big circle there's Florida. I don't see it identified, but I got to imagine this is a Florida area here, right? Where there's higher share of listings, call it 30, 35%. Okay. The premium is only 10%, only single digits in some cases. Okay. It's all supply and demand. Hey, right now you want to get a deal on go look in Southwest. I hate Florida. Alligators scare me. Okay. Well, you're crying about affordable housing options in New York City. I mean, come on. Let's get serious. New construction price reduced share. Here's some areas here. 24% of Nevada's reducing on new construction, while only 20% of existing. Indiana, 23 versus 22, very stable, or very, very consistent, rather. Utah, or South Carolina, rather, 21 versus 17%. Minnesota, 21 versus 17. North Carolina, 21 versus 19. Jersey's 19% new construction price reduced, only 10% on existing. Texas, 19 and 17%. All right. There's a side-by-side comparison on new construction right now versus the existing home sales per Realtor.com. If you're in a new construction market, all those slides are in school. You can download them, study them, use them in your one-on-one or your one-to-many newsletters as you see fit in your market. It's all available. We've taken the time out of doing all of that for you, so you can just grab those and go. Unemployment, after yesterday's big employment report, we get the weekly numbers here from the Department of Labor, and we have a decrease week over week. So initial claims for unemployment, 227,000, is a decrease of 5,000 from the previous week's revised level. So unemployment continues to kind of just plod along where we've been for a long time on weekly unemployment numbers, and almost really a nothing to see here report. Nothing of major concern as it gets to unemployment. You got to get up over 250,000 on a weekly number, and really on a 4-week moving average. If you're going to get, if you're going to get the Fed to really play ball on cutting rates, certainly while Jay Powell is in there, after yesterday's better than expected employment report, which, by the way, we know, and I said it yesterday, hey, the market reacts to the data that they have. They did it all through 2023 and 2024 when I'm like, what is going on? These numbers are so ridiculously overstated, and we have all this government hiring. Why is the market reacting this way? Well, the market reacts to the data they have, and we know, hey, even these numbers, January, could get revised down the road. We kind of don't react much to the revised numbers, but we react to the real-time numbers of overstated job growth. But those are the numbers the Fed have to work with. That's what they're going to base a lot of decisions on. And the job market is not dictating that they make a cut. CME Group says 94% chance that there will be no cut. I showed you Polymarket earlier. Polymarket's in line with that. There's not going to be a cut in March. We're 34 days away from the meeting. Outside of some unforeseen catastrophe, which I hope you're not rooting for, there will be no cut in March. What does that mean for rates? Well, the spread is normalized. The 10-year and the 30-year spread is normalized. That's kept rates in the low 6s, which is way better than this time last year. We're at 7. We have a full point improvement. We have things heading slowly in a direction we want them to head into. 10 years at 4.152. Over the last 5 days, this is near a low level for the last 5 days, at a low level for the last 30 days. Somewhere in the middle for the last 90. Okay. 4.152, no cut coming in March. Like, just get used to Danielle Hale from Realtor.com being an exacto 2 years in a row. Her and her team nailed the 30-year mortgage projection last year, And I mean, her projection for this year is a little bit higher than where we've been. It's more around 6.25. We're in the low sixes, but expecting heavy movement on the 30-year fixed. Anytime heading into the first half of the spring selling season, seems more like hope is a strategy than strategy is a strategy. 6.14 was yesterday's read. We'll get a weekly tomorrow, but this is where we've been, 6.1 to 6.2. We've been in this range. Don't see much movement there as we continue to move closer and closer to when we see that inventory pickup happen in end of February, beginning of March, mid-March. Getting closer and closer to that. We'll continue to break down every single week what that looks like. I will be back with you guys tomorrow on a closeout Friday hot sheet. And of course, Monday, we'll look at that inventory once again. Love to see you. I've opened up the 7-day trial for BAMX members. If you want to have those conversations with me in real time on Tuesdays, or get access to all the scripts and all the role plays, and everything that I share here on the hot sheet, just go to school.com/BAMX. You can try it out. I'll see you guys back tomorrow morning. Until then, good luck today and toodaloo.